on, Unity North. Make a little sound for the great music. Stand by me. We're kind of small this morning, but we are mighty in spirit and truth. Yes? We come together to, I'll stand by you, you stand by me, we stand by everybody in the room, and those of you online, we're standing with you and by you and for you. And something happens, something beautiful happens, and let it happen here today. Yes? You ready for a miracle to happen today? So we open our hearts and our minds to that miracle by opening with prayer. Take a deep breath with me. And on the exhale, simply remove any block. Just release any block that would keep you from being fully present to the miracle of right now. To the miracle of your life, created in the image and after the likeness of love, of light, of perfection, of goodness, of wholeness. We allow ourselves to know this truth for ourselves, that we may vibrate at the highest level of consciousness and of truth, so that we can be present to those around us, to our left, to our right. It is God, before us, behind us, above us, below us. Everywhere we have the eyes and the ears and the spirit to behold the face of God. We send that energy through the airwaves to all those that are joining us online, and we say thank you. Thank you, infinite presence doing business as all creation. Thank you, infinite presence, for this beautiful day outwardly and this beautiful day inwardly. And when the two meet, something good happens. So let good happen here today at the point of you, at the point of us. And in that service to humanity and to this earthly experience and expression, something wonderful happens. And we allow ourselves to be a part of that movement. For these moments in time, for each of us gathered here and those online, we say together, thank you, God. Thank you, God, together with one powerful voice. Thank you, God. And so it is, and so we simply let it be. Amen. So we're serving that one today. If you are so led and able, I'm going to invite you to get up on your feet. It's one we have not done for a while, and it's how can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? We're going to put some lyrics up on the screen. We need a little rhythm here. Come on, put your hands together. Those of you at home, please sing with us as we share one voice, one heart, one song. Together we sing. How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me. You get one more shot at it from the beginning. How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me. Who needs my love today? Who needs my love today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Right now I'm going to invite you to answer the call of the leading, to turn to your left or your right with a handshake or a hug, and let somebody know you're so grateful they are here this morning. And we're so grateful that those of you who are online have joined us. If you need our love, we're here for you. We need your love, so send it through the airwaves back at us. And in that exchange of energy, something good happens. Miracles happen in your life and in our lives. Thanks so much for joining us today. Go ahead and meet that person you don't know. Somebody around you is new. Let them know we're grateful that they are here also. All right, you got another verse or two in you? Let's do this from the top. Who needs my love today? Who needs my love today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, you got one more? Now, my love today, sweet Spirit. Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Give yourselves a round of applause. And And I'm so grateful that you answered the call to be here today. We're going to turn it over to Danielle.
Well, good morning, Unity North. Good morning. I love that energy. If you are in need of love today, you are in the right place. Unity North is full of love and sweet spirits in the form of a welcome team. The welcome team is coming forward right now. Their job is in their name. It is to welcome you. If it is your first time here at Unity North, in just a moment, we are going to shower you with love and sweetness and energy wherever you are sitting in this time. So if today is your first day at Unity North, would you please raise your hand nice and high in the air so we can love on you a little bit? Oh my goodness, wasn't expecting that. So we have a whole group over here. We want to make sure you keep your hands up until we can get a welcome packet in your hands. Thank you for joining us at Unity North this morning. Excellent. We're so happy to have you here. We're so happy to have you on a Coffee and Connections Day as well. So Coffee and Connections is when you get to hang out with the wonderful Reverend Richard after service. So as you're leaving service this afternoon, you're going to go through these doors and turn left, and that will be the office, and we'll have some coffee and obviously some connections. So we hope that you join us right after service for that. So today we've got lots of great goodies going on, but we have our old standby, our exciting time, and it must be... It's announcement time. It is announcement time, and we have a special guest coming up this morning, I think. They are on their way, coming up, so I'm going to stall with a smile for them. As they are coming up, we're going to put our hands together for our wonderful Vice Chair, Miss Sylvie Drawn.
Good morning. So I just am honored to think about how varied we all are. We have different perspectives, we come from different backgrounds, but under this campus roof, we are united. We're a spiritual community. We come from so many experiences, and that's what is so important. What your board wants to tap into. We want to check the pulse of your experiences, your opinions, your thoughts, your views, your dreams for the future. And you have an opportunity, and I'm just going to be honest, you have a responsibility to answer this survey. You've got it in your email, it's on the website, it's in the newsletter. Get your phones out and snap that QR code. If you're not the technology type, there's a copy in the office, hard copy. You only have 1 week left. I don't know how many members we have, 600? And we need a good representation from all of you for what you care about, because we're going to be developing our vision, our mission statement, and tapping into our core values. And you have a chance to speak to that, to be represented. So don't let this week go by. It takes about 20 minutes. There are some open-ended questions. They take a little longer. Might be easier on your laptop instead of your phone. And again, you only have 1 week. So if you know others, just tell them all. Did you fill out the survey? I was thinking, it's like voting. You can't complain if you don't fill out the survey. So that's what I have to offer. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, you heard it here, a responsibility. Let's answer the call as a community. Speaking of community, in our next announcement, we are talking about spiritual connection. So we're still in that period. We've got 1 week left where we are looking for host to host the Spiritual Connections group. Now remember, if you sign up to be a host, you have the power to choose the topic and the location and the time. So both the survey and the Spiritual Connections and also our next announcement will all be in the lobby after service. So you can get more information, but if you had like a tickling in the back of your mind that maybe you could be a host, maybe you have an idea, this is the Sunday. So after service in the foyer. And in our last announcement, the weekend of self-care is just 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away. And obviously, if you haven't signed up yet, then you're super busy, and then you need a weekend of self-care. So you need to check this out. So there are so many different sessions. I know some are on the slide, but again, they'll be in the lobby. We're looking for volunteers and, of course, participants. But listen to some of the amazing sessions. A labyrinth walk, hand and foot reflexology, slow flow yoga, angel art collage cards, emotional freedom technique. Now, this is all in the same day, all in the same spiritual home. So this is a weekend you don't want to miss. So please scan that QR code, go out into the lobby. They have printed out all of the sessions for you so you can review them and make intelligent and wise choices. But honestly, you can't go wrong. The only way to go wrong is to not sign up. So I hope to see you at the weekend of self-care, September 13th and 14th. So as we've been saying, we are a community of sweet spirits. And I'd like to invite a very sweet spirit, very sweet soul up to the platform, Kristen Hope Justice. And, oh yeah, no, go for it. Look, give her a round of applause. Because trust me, after you hear the song, you'll definitely be on your feet giving her a round of applause. So we're so happy to have Kristen here today, filling in for us at the last minute, no doubt, but bringing us such beautiful music that is so fit for today. So please enjoy Living Together in Unity.
And this is a song written by our very own Will Hodge over here. So give it up for Will, too. That we heard to doubt to be more than right. We sang, we prayed, we laughed and we loved. And we became the vision we were dreaming of. Unity of mind, unity of spirit. There are many paths. Listen and you'll hear it, living what we've come to believe. Stand together in unity. Reach out, take a hand, raise it up in the air. Standing as one, finding love everywhere. Thank you very much.
Kristen Hope Justice,
And the
Unity North
band.
Band. Beautiful, beautiful, as always. And I just appreciate it. It was last minute. You know, COVID is running rampant again a little bit. And Kristen, our singer today, Tom Wolfe, said, I can't be there. All the music had been practiced. And we made one phone call. Will called Kristen, and she said, I'm there. I love this community. I love these people. So the song talks about a oneness of mind, of heart, of spirit, and of truth. There's only one of us in the room, yes? And there's a whole group of people that dedicate their lives to knowing that oneness. When the world appears to be falling apart, or your world appears to be falling apart, there's a whole foundation here at Unity North that has committed themselves to holding the container of consciousness. That no matter how dark it might get, there is still light. That you are the light. That no matter how difficult your life might be, that there is a way out and a way in. And that's our chaplain corps. And we have just had a recent chaplain training, and we're going to celebrate those chaplains that are stepping into duty for the next 6 months. And they were real clear with me. Last time we did this, we did not sing the song that's so vitally important to them. And so I promised them that we would go ahead and do this because it speaks so beautifully about what they are committing to. to being the one, to being the ones that have dedicated their life, their mind, their church experience to holding the container for others. When we sing, "How Can I Serve Today?" well, being a chaplain is one of those ways that they serve, and they do it at the highest level. I'm so grateful for the people that are going to make their way up to the platform right now. I invite you to hold a consciousness and a love and a gratitude for them. Let's go ahead and kick that song that they requested, and you're going to sing it the last time through on the chorus. But let's just open our hearts and open the altar of ourselves and our minds to this group of people. Maybe place your hand upon your heart as a way of saying, "I'm here with you. I, the Lord of sea and sky. I have heard my people cry, all who dwell in loneliness, my hand will raise. I who made the stars of night, I will make their darkness bright. Who will bear my light to them? Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, where you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart. Let's all stand and sing this together. Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, where you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart. The last line together. I will hold your people in my heart. Please be seated. So we have before us a group of dedicated, committed people who have received a call, and that is to be in service. You know, there are layers and layers of ministry, and at this layer of chaplainhood is a very high vibration. It is a very high commitment, and the commitment that they're making is no small task that we take very seriously here at Unity North. In a moment, we're going to place a stole upon the shoulders of those gathered, and we'll do it metaphorically for those that could not be here today as part of the chaplain corps that are also joining us. But that stole is a symbol of responsibility. Yes, it is a symbol of honor, but much more so, it is a symbol of responsibility. Each of the people standing behind me is making a commitment to seeing the highest and best of you, to being in service, that when you can't feel it, they will feel it for you and with you. When you can't see it, they will see it for you and with you. They're here in service every single Sunday. There's 4 of them that are holding the unbroken awareness of the presence of God. I know that you can feel it, because I can feel it on the platform. There's a meeting place of your heart. And all these chaplains behold you as the Christ, as the Buddha, as the Atman, as the Tao, as the light of the world. And I hope you don't take their service lightly either. You have before you people who love you unconditionally. People who have made a commitment to loving unconditionally and to holding the high watch, to being in the upper room of consciousness, to know the truth for you, with you, around you, and as you. I'm going to take a moment as Judy Demmer. Is there anything you want to say before we do this? Okay. Judy's going to read the names of those who are stepping into service, as well as the ones that could not be here today. I will place a stole on their shoulder and just offer a few words of private affirmation. I invite you to hold for each and every one of the names that you hear the same that they are holding for you, a place of peace, of oneness, and gratitude.
Thank you, Richard. I first of all would like to acknowledge 2 that are leaving, which are Brian Andrews and Mary Ma. They have served well. and we would welcome them back anytime. And then I would like to read out the names of 5 that could not be here today. Michael Doss, Anna Dobson, Juanita Pritchard, Beverly Epps, and Justice Bercacci. And they are doing various things. Yeah. Now, let's start at the end with Tara Green. Belma Oregio. Sarah Dotsterman. Marissa Levi. Lorelei Robbins. Nancy James. Nita Paris. Aileen Deaton. Jagrati Bender. Benita Lott. Virginia Woolf. Virginia Moore.
You were all thinking it, but
And I said it. Shit. There we go. Marie Pacella. We're welcoming with us Amani Davis. Sharon Summers. I won't get the mic back. I do want to invite you guys to participate in Unity's World Day of Prayer that the chaplains will be joining with Unity all worldwide, September the 11th and the 12th.
And so the final chaplain that I bestow upon is the lead chaplain, the one who is corralling this group, and it's like herding cats sometimes, corralling the consciousness and certainly corralling a minister. She is a right hand and a left hand to this ministry, and that is Judy Demmer. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to invite you to make a lot of noise, hoot and to holler and to scream and to shout and to stomp and to clap for the next 6 months, your chaplain corps at Unity North Atlanta Church. I've invited them to stay for the first chorus. We're going to change the order of service a little bit. I'm going to invite you to get still, to become quiet, have a seat. And there's a song that we sing at the YOU, the high school group, at the rallies and retreats. And it's so appropriate for today's message and for the consciousness that you see before you. Take a deep breath with me. And on the exhale, allow yourself to become a sanctuary of consciousness, of truth, of love. The words are going to be up on the screen. I invite you to sing them with me as we go into quiet. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I want to be a living sanctuary for you. As the lights begin to come down, let's sing again. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I want to be a living sanctuary for you. Let's do this one more time. Take it in. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I want to be a living sanctuary for you. And so as we close our outer eyes, let us open our inner eyes. And each one of us, we know in this now moment of stillness, is called. Each one of us has heard the still small voice that has guided us throughout our lives and brought us to this moment. And so let's first be grateful. In this quiet moment, let's be grateful for every step, for every thought, for every person that crossed our path that was a symbol of the guidance, the call. And in this moment, we know that the voice is eternally speaking, and it's speaking now. So let your body become comfortable as a receptive environment. Let your mind become still and focused, receptive and open, vulnerable, humble, and willing to receive the next call, and the next, and the next. And so the quality of tomorrow, next week, next year would be determined by the answering of these questions. Meditate on your answers that are private and personal just to you. Who am I called to be? Say that silently to yourself. What is mine to do? Receive the guidance. What is not mine to do? How am I called to be on planet Earth? How am I called to serve? Where am I called to serve? We know together with one mind that we have the courage and the strength, the wisdom and the love and the passion enough to answer the call one step at a time, one prayer at a time, one breath at a time. Where am I called to love more fully? How does peace live as me, through me, around me? What is my gift to the family of Earth? Or what is my gift to the earth itself? Breathe it. Listen and listen deeply. Feel it and feel it at depth. And let us as a collective and as individuals be willing to answer the call at the deepest part of our soul. Willing to do whatever it takes to answer that unique voice that shows up as you. That unique voice of God doing business as you. Here I am. Here I am, Lord. A humble, faithful servant to the good that can only find its way to earth through me. I have heard you calling, and I will go where you lead me. I will follow your guidance, and I will no longer play small with the power and the light and the love given to me. And so as we enter a period of silence, access all that it will take for you to be the chosen one. for you to be the one who makes the world a little bit brighter place, a little bit more beautiful place, one breath, one heartbeat, one moment at a time, in the silence. Within the silence is all the power we need to be the ambassador and the emissary and the testimony to the presence and power of the one known by many names. And so with open heart and mind and life and spirit, we sing one more time, Lord, prepare me, use me to be a sanctuary, to be the point of power within the mind of God, to be the point of love within the heart of God, to be the point of truth, of peace, of joy, of harmony, and all that is good and holy in and as the Spirit of God on earth. And so once again, hand upon your heart. Let us close this time of reflection with singing. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I want to be a living sanctuary for you. So it is, so it shall be, and so we will let it be. Amen. I'm going to switch to the other mic now. You know, I often say in this community that if what we do in this room stays in this room, it's been a wonderful entertainment. Maybe good to a certain level. But if what we've done in this room leaves this room and goes out, a consciousness goes out into the world, a truth goes out into the world through you, around you, and as you, it's been the most valuable thing you could have spent. Don't waste this hour with leaving it at the door, but to kick those doors open and say, the call is not just here at Unity North, not with my friends and my family, but it is with anybody who crosses my path. It is with anybody who happens to show up in my field. I will be that calling. I will be that energy. Are we good with that? Yes. All right. I just flew in from Europe, and boy, are my arms tired. So that was my entry point into the message today. You know, I've just spent some time in Europe. I was in beautiful lands, Germany, Switzerland, the Netherlands, and ended the trip in Italy. And let me tell you, it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But just as beautiful was the view of coming back to my home church and to looking into the eyes of our chaplains, looking into the eyes of this congregation. You see, it's the same look in a Frenchman's eyes as it is a German's eyes, as it is a Swiss eye, as it is an American eye, but I have to have the eyes to see it. I have to have the heart in order to behold it. Everywhere you go, we're going to meet people with a different perspective, a different culture, a different mindset, a different perspective. Yet there is a common underlying desire and a hope for the earth and for the humanity that we all share. Oh, we have to look for it, don't we? We have to look for it, and we have to look diligently, like a pit bull with a bone. We have to look deeply, and we have to look often, and we have to look with intention and purpose in order to find it, because this experience on earth sometimes gets in the way. Have you noticed that? Our experience on earth and our judgments here on earth many times get in the way of that view. So we must be pilgrims and travelers on this earthly journey with a higher purpose, a deeper purpose than just contextualizing the experience. You know, it was on this trip, many of us, there were 20 of us that came from this church on this trip. All but 4 of us contracted COVID in the middle of the trip. Yeah, but not a one of the people, including those that got it very early on and paid a great deal of money to get to go to Europe and to behold the truth and the light in all these lands, not a person has left that trip saying, I found something good. I found something holy. It may have been in a hotel room, missing all of the beautiful scenery in the cathedrals, but they still found good. That's a vision and a consciousness that we cultivate here. And they're going to get some money back, I think. Please hold that in prayer, that these people get a little money back. What we found is that the surface experience does not and will not define us. The surface judgments will not define us, but we have to be convicted and committed to that truth. Yes? Despite centuries of history, and history was in our face on this trip. Absolutely proving our individual and collective fears as a human race, manifesting as competition, manifesting as war. We found that we can meet each other in the sanctuary of something greater, something more profound, something more beautiful, and something deeper. Put your hand on your heart again. I'm going to ask you to do it several times, because sometimes in life, that's all you got is your heart. It's a sanctuary of hope. Together, a sanctuary of hope. A sanctuary of love. Together, a sanctuary of love. A sanctuary of oneness. A sanctuary of oneness. A sanctuary of consciousness. On this trip, we saw amazingly beautiful sights, beautiful sanctuaries, incredible cathedrals adorned with wealth and frivolity and goodness and artistry. Yet, if you ask anybody on this trip, because we met pretty much every night to discuss where we found God, and we noticed the beauty. We saw the beauty, yet where we found God was in the humble moments of relationship. The humble moments. Yes, we expected to find God here, and we found God here. And we found God here. The humble moments of relationship and connection with each other and the various people that we met in these countries. Connections that transcended language barriers. And there were a lot of language barriers. Connections that transcended cultural boundaries and borders and transcended wealth to the greatest wealth and the greatest treasure on earth. That is our common humanity. Yes? I found the blessings of this trip had a lot less to do with the artistic achievements and workmanships and grandeur of architecture, which I happen to really, really love, and a lot more to do with the intimate moments of shared human experience, shared humanity, and shared hope. And so today, for the talk, I want to share a few of those moments. I could share the whole trip, but we might be here for the next 8 hours, and I don't think you love me that much. I want to share some moments from me that sparked this morning's message. We must be the sanctuary. Say that with me. We must be the sanctuary. Several of us had the opportunity to go to Heidelberg. It was the highlight for the trip, and there was a part of this trip in Heidelberg which is a bit untouched by World War I and World War II. It was like stepping back in time. And part of that trip was to spend some time with a university student from Germany, to sit down and to just have a conversation about life. And this young lady, her name was Lisa, was willing to go wherever I wanted to lead her. And those that were at the table were sometimes a little dumbfounded because I didn't take anything off the table. Those who know me, though, we're open books, and we're going to talk about everything. And she was willing to go where I wanted to go. So we talked about everything from religion to politics to family to the disappointment of her parents when she changed her major from law to sociology. We joked together through the language barrier about the awareness that sociology degrees make a heck of a lot less money than lawyer degrees. Then we laughed even more because I said there's only one person on the planet who makes less than a sociologist. It was a minister. But the reality is there was a wealth of sharing that we shared with Lisa and the others that were at our table. It was beautiful in every possible way. And she introduced me to a word. My German is not so good, so I had to break it down phonetically to say it to you. Ellenbogengesellschaft. Anybody ever know it? Anybody speak German or can understand my accent? Do you know what it is? Ellenbogengesellschaft. I probably have to say it with the right voice. I don't know. I got Jewish for a minute. Ellenbogengesellschaft is basically elbow society. It's a term that she's learning in her sociology classes about an elbow society, and she used it to contextualize the world and the human race as we know it today. Basically, that term means a competitive, self-centered culture where people, metaphorically, are using their elbows to push others aside in pursuit of their own personal gain and their own success and their own power. Everyone do that with me. Anybody ever meet anybody living life like that? Bulldozers, get out of my way. I'm getting mine, and I'm going to get mine, and you're in the way of getting it. And I thought, well, that's an interesting way to look at society. And she says many in the German culture, the young people, are calling that Ellenbogengesellschaft the dominant energy of the human race as we know it today. An attitude characterized by self-interest and personal benefit above the welfare of community. Has anybody spotted that in the world today? Let's be honest, it's there. It's a willingness to elbow past others to get your own good. An ego-driven society where I get mine and you're on your own. And I asked her what the young people of Germany thought about that particular culture. Did they see any hope of turning that elbow society around? And I think perhaps I had a little more hope than she did, but there was clear evidence that she thought that the responsibility of turning the elbow society around clearly landed in the laps of those who created it and not the laps of those who inherited it. I told you it got honest and it got real. That the responsibility to move past elbow culture landed squarely on the hearts and the minds and the actions of those who created it, my generation, your generation, and not on those who had inherited it. Now, she did this with a loving smile. It was a bit of an ouch, but she did it with a loving, beautiful smile. But it hit home. The message hit home. I needed to be the change I was asking the young people to elicit. I needed to be the change and the shift in society that I was asking the young people to clean up our messes. And I introduced her to unity. She'd never heard about unity and what we do here in this community, in this movement. And I asked her what she thought about the concept that if enough of us created a different kind of elbow society, one where we, instead of doing this, we linked arms. I invite you to do that right now. Go ahead and link arms. If you got 3 chairs between you, don't stretch yourself. We'll have yoga after the service today. I asked her what she thought about that, an idea of mutual support, characterized by oneness, characterized by a common desire and common intention. And I said, that's what we're doing in the unity movement. The possibility of a unity consciousness that recognized that we are stronger together. Say that with me. We are stronger together. She smiled. She had a gorgeous smile. I felt like I was sitting next to my granddaughter having a conversation. And her smile and her sincerity of love was genuine. But she smiled and said, yes, I believe it's possible. But I really could see through her very polite yet cynical reluctance. What are you going to do to fix it, basically? It's not my job, is what she gave me. That lunch, which I was not looking forward to, going to Heidelberg, became the highlight of my trip. It became the recognition of God meeting God in a young 27 or 28-year-old. It became God meeting God with a German and American, a man and a young girl, a grandfather and a granddaughter, sharing stories of family, I had that little shred of hope that we're not defined by this, but we're defined by this, linking together. That if we keep striving, that there is a promise for a better elbow society. And there's nothing easy about that job. Let's get real, folks. We agreed, we found agreement, that's not an easy task. Centuries upon centuries of healing has been needed that we have ignored. So turning that boat around in the harbor is going to take some work, and it's going to take effort. Nobody said the spiritual path would be easy. Did anybody promise you that? Nobody promised that change was going to be easy. Bringing a new paradigm to the planet, a new thought to the planet was going to be easy, but it is worth it. We cannot and will not give up hope of a society where we're stronger together. We're in this together. There's nothing about that job that is easy, but I'm willing and up to the challenge. I don't know about you. What do you think? Yes. Are you up to the challenge? Yes. I'll believe you if you get a little more at the end of the talk. At the end of the conversation, Lisa met me at the level of my hope. And the vibration was more than just a polite smile. It became a possibility. We've exchanged information to contact each other, and I hope that she's checking us out right now, because my wife was absolutely pushing Unity on her. You got to check him out. He's online. You got to go online and check him out. So Lisa, if you are listening by any chance, hello, you made a difference to me, and I hope we made a difference to you. We must be the sanctuary of a new paradigm. We must be the temple and the cathedral of a new idea. We cannot wait around for somebody to come back to earth and save us. We cannot wait around anymore for somebody else to change it, for the younger people to change it. We must be the change that we want to see on the planet. Yes? Hand on your heart. We must be the sanctuary together. We must be the sanctuary. Not our religions. Your religions are not going to be the vehicle for transformation. It is not going to be our religions. It will not be our politics. It will not be our entrenchments and our opinions. It will not be our buildings, our cultures, or our beliefs, except one belief, that this can become this. We must be the sanctuary. Our master teacher, Jesus, absolutely emphasized this truth. He taught it over and over and over again. But don't take my word for it. Let's take his word for it. Here's some scripture, how he encouraged us to live in a place of love, of humility, marked by service to others. In Matthew chapter 25, I don't have any PowerPoint slides because I was on a boat in Italy and I didn't get it to the people in time. So you're going to get me to read to you today. I was hungry. I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. A stranger and you invited me in. I needed clothes and you clothed me. I was sick and you looked after me in prison and you came to visit me. And the apostles answered Jesus and said, When did we see you hungry and feed you, thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you as a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you? And perhaps the most powerful words that the man ever spoke from the level of the Christ Spirit. I tell you the truth. Whatsoever you did for one of the least of these, you did for me. Whatsoever you did to one of the least of these, you did to me. We walked through cathedrals adorned in gold, worshiping a man. And a man who somewhere is going, you got it all wrong. You screwed it up. I am the light of the world, yes, but so are you. Whatsoever you do to the homeless person, the hungry person, the thirsty person, the person in prison, and prison takes many forms. A lot of people walking the planet are in a prison of consciousness and they don't know how to get out, but you are the sanctuary and you are the key. You are the vehicle through which the Christ is made visible, audible, tangible, and touchable on earth. The responsibility does not belong to somebody who lived 2,000 years ago. The responsibility is in your hands, in my hands, and in our hands. We must be the sanctuary together. Matthew, my favorite of the three earlier Gospels, Matthew 22, when asked the great commandment, this is what Jesus answered. The way, the truth, and the life said this to us: love God with all your heart, your soul, and your mind. And the second is like it. And I know you all know it. It's the golden rule. Love your neighbor as yourself. Notice he didn't say, love your neighbor that thinks like you think. Love the neighbor that looks like you think. Love your neighbor that has the same language as you or the same religion as you. He did not say that. Love your neighbor with a great big exclamation point at the end. He was calling us to be a sanctuary, to be the light for our neighbors. And then told us, no, you can't stop there, because in Matthew chapter 5, he said, love your enemies. Now, in Unity, we like to say you have no enemies. If you've made an enemy, then that's sinking thinking that needs to be cleaned out. Love your enemies. Love those that are different than you. Jesus asked us to be the sanctuary even for those outside of our comfort zone. Be the change you want to see. We'll all be loving when they're loving. I'll be kind when they're kind. That's a game that nobody wins. And I'm saying I want to be the church, the sanctuary, the cathedral, the congregation that's leading the way to a different reality. Many of us are involved in this process for the last 25 days or so, leading into the election process. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Say it with me. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, 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 peace for every party, for every official running for office, for every person who has an opinion. The ones that agree with you, the ones that don't agree with you. We cannot make exceptions to where we find and share peace, or we're not a sanctuary. We're just another pretty cathedral, a house built on sand that will crumble. So we're getting honest today, and Lisa got honest with me. I got honest with Lisa, and something beautiful happened. Now, let's a further commentary. Another example of the human condition that I saw on this trip. Susie and I were the only ones that went to this palace. It was the home of Archbishop Clemens August. Anybody ever heard of the name Clemens August? That probably would drive one of you. It would probably drive him nuts, because he was a narcissist of the highest order. It was here that I learned of a mindset that basically held to the notion, he who has the most mirrors wins. The more mirrors you have, well, the more important you are. The more respected you are, the more society looks upon you favorably. In one room, Clemens August had a room where he would hold company with people, and you would be invited. You had to go to first room. You wouldn't see him there. The first room, and you had to be there for 3 hours. And if you passed the test, you were invited to another room for another hour. Finally welcomed into his chamber, where you had to stand across the room from him. You were not allowed to get close. And in that room, he had mirrors in every corner. Mirrors from every angle. And he asked you to stand. There was no X on the floor, but he knew where you were going to stand. You stand there so that you could see him from all sides. It was narcissism at its best, and it made me wonder, after my conversation with Lisa, has our society become a narcissistic society? My opinion can beat up your opinion. My religion can beat up your religion. My God can beat up your God. My ideas can beat up your ideas. And have we become a mirror society where we're more concerned with being seen, more concerned with being understood than we are with seeing those around us and understanding those around us? The responsibility falls strictly on those who created the mess, not on those that inherited it. There's a mindset that are more concerned with being seen than we are seeing others right now. Let me surround myself with stories. Let me surround myself with language and words like mirrors so that everybody can see how great I am. Or on the flip side, still imagination of the ego. Let me surround myself with words and stories so you can see how difficult my life has been. And all the excuses of why I am the way I am. All manifestations of the ego. The human race is desperate to be seen today. But we're seen to be a lot more willing to be seen than we are to turn the mirror around and to see others first, to understand others first. The mirrors of today are much more subtle than they were for Clemens August. But with a slight shift, we can turn the whole boat around in the harbor. We can turn the whole consciousness around, the whole human race around. What if our consciousness merely turned all the stories, all the words, all the feelings, and all the consciousness around to reflect the worth and the value of everybody else? Be the change you want to see. If you want to be seen, see somebody. If you want to be loved, love somebody. If you want to be recognized, recognize somebody. What if on this planet our job was to reflect the light we see in others rather than positioning ourselves and others so that they can see our light? How about this consciousness? I invite you into this consciousness. He who holds the most mirrors for others wins. He who reflects the light for others wins. She who beholds the good in others wins. That is a remedy for an elbow society. That is a remedy for a narcissistic society that is absolutely needed. He and she who encourages and uplifts others to find heaven. So how can we address this culture? How are we challenged? Because I'm not just up here about speaking and talking. This is a challenge, a gauntlet I throw down. Here's my quick list, and then I'll invite the band to come up after number 5. Number 1, cultivate a mindset of presence, of mindfulness. Becoming more aware of your daily thoughts. Becoming more aware of the feelings that you're allowing access to the sanctuary of your heart and the impact they are having on the rest of the world. Begin to ask questions like, am I acting out of self-interest or in service to others? Or how do my actions affect those around me? How are my words affecting those around me? Seeking to understand before I am understood. Number 2, practice loving kindness. It's a Buddhist practice that involves directing loving kindness first here. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first, but do not stop there. Many people in New Thought have that teaching. I got the oxygen mask, I'm good. The loving kindness then goes to everybody, including those you don't like, including those that don't agree with you. Love your enemy. By regularly cultivating feelings of love and compassion, we counteract the competitive, self-centered mindset of an elbow culture. Number 3, engage in community service. The highest form of knowing God is service, plain and simple. The highest form of prayer is service, plain and simple. No wiggle room there. Acts of service remind us of our shared humanity and the importance of contributing to the common good rather than focusing solely on my individual gain. Number 4, cultivating the idea of interbeing. Interbeing, a unity, and a Buddhist idea popularized by Thich Nhat Hanh. Do you recognize the name? Thich Nhat Hanh emphasized that all beings are interconnected, recognizing that your well-being is intrinsically attached to mine. That your good and my good are not separate. Your suffering and my suffering are not and will not be separate. Collaboration versus competition. Say that with me. Collaboration versus competition. Which do you choose? Right now, this country is engaged in competition at the highest order. Win at all costs. And use words to win at all costs. Use attack to win at all costs. That's an infection that I don't want in this sanctuary. That's an infection that I do not welcome in this sanctuary, and we must be the ones to call it out when it shows up. We must be the ones that have the guts, the determination, and the willingness to call it out when it shows up in this environment. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Number 5, practice detachment. Both Christianity and Buddhism, you guys can come up now, teach the importance of focusing on spiritual fulfillment rather than material gain. It's pretty obvious that as much as these cathedrals were all about wealth, the mindset in my conversation with Lisa, a sociology student in Germany, is the view. We asked her point blank, what is the view of the United States and the culture here? She didn't pull punches. We're all about getting. We're not about giving. We're all about gaining. And that we're the fat cats on the block of the earth. And we are also, as the fat cats, leading the charge of consciousness on the planet because people are watching and following us. I want to be the fat cats on the block of consciousness in this church, in this movement, and to lead by example. To lead by building something greater, something more beautiful, something more profound. You go ahead, a little music, Tom, would be great. The sanctuary is all of us, and there's a mindset that must come to be. I sat with Lisa saying, yes, I agree with all these things. And yet I had to get really honest with her that I sat down every night at the Olympics, and I was so happy when America had more medals than China. And I was disappointed when China had more medals than the United States. Simple but subtle mirror. Look at us. We're great. And what I got sitting at a table with a student was, yes, we are all great. And I was reminded of a poem David Roth wrote about a different kind of Olympics, which is the call that I'm putting out for us to be the sanctuary. The athletes had come from all over the country to run for the gold, for the silver, and the bronze. Many weeks and months of training all coming down to these games. The spectators gathered around the old field to cheer on all the young women and men to find the final event of the day was approaching. Excitement grew high to begin. The blocks were all lined up for those who would use them. The 100-yard dash and was the race to be run. There were 9 resolved athletes in back of the starting line, poised for the sound of the gun. The signal was given. The pistol exploded, and so did the human runners, all charged ahead. But the smallest among them, he stumbled, and he staggered, and he fell to the asphalt instead. He gave out a cry in frustration and anguish. His dreams and his efforts all dashed in the dirt. But as sure as I'm standing here telling this story, the same goes for what next occurred. The 8 other runners pulled up on their heels. The ones who had trained for so long to compete. One by one, they all turned around and went back to help him and brought the young boy to his feet. And then all 9 runners joined hands and continued. The 100-yard dash now reduced to a walk. And a banner above that said, Special Olympics. Could not have been more on the mark. That's how the race ended, with 9 gold medals. They came to the finish line holding hands still, and a standing ovation and 9 beaming faces said more than these words ever will. Sit with a young person. Sit with a student. Sit with an elder. Sit with a German, a Frenchman, an Israeli, a Palestinian, a Ukrainian, a Russian. Somebody's falling somewhere. Let us be the sanctuary of change that we are all seeking. This trip was evidence that I hope I get the opportunity to share with Lisa at some point again. A giant cathedral was shared by both Reformation churches and anti-Reformation churches. There wasn't enough real estate, so let's share the same building. Interesting. And eventually the walls dividing that house of worship, that cathedral, that sanctuary came down. Oneness triumphed. Oneness won. Symbols of the Berlin Wall. I was very curious how the German people and the tour guides were going to handle the history. The Berlin Wall was everywhere, and I got to touch pieces of the Berlin Wall with a humility and a tour guide that did not try to disguise history, that did not try to take it out of their books, but put it front and center, and with humility said, never again. Never again. It came down because of the work and the prayer of the hopeful and the faithful who joined elbows, who joined arms and turned mirrors the other way and saw what was possible. Monuments to the darkness of the past that those who lost their lives would not be forgotten. Stumbling stones, they called them, in streets of every town we went. The survivors of Holocaust put a plaque in the street for those who did not survive, with small print enough that in order to read the names, one had to bow. Perhaps we can bow to our history and not repeat it. Perhaps we can bow to the parts that are dark and difficult within us individually and collectively and rise to a higher place. And finally, spires of cathedrals, the tallest place in town, raised above the skyline as a symbol to the weary, to the tired, to the traveler returning home, symbols of solace and peace, of harmony and rest for the lost. The first thing anybody saw as they were coming home was the spire, pointing to a higher order, a higher vibration, a higher truth, reminders of something greater than our human experience. I've heard it said that the only Bible that some people will ever read will be your life. Let me submit to you after this trip, which is as much inward as it was outward, the only cathedral, the only sanctuary that somebody will ever visit or see will be you. Let us turn the mirrors outward. Let us link elbows with everyone and anyone who crosses our path as a symbol of tomorrow's hope and tomorrow's possibility. Take down the walls. Raise the spires of a higher consciousness and be the sanctuary. Hand on your heart. We must be the sanctuary. Together, we. Again, we must be the sanctuary. And one last time, I must be the sanctuary. I must be the sanctuary. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Thank you. So we're moving into offering time, and our ushers prepare to come forward. We hold on to those thoughts of being a sanctuary for change, being a sanctuary for good. And as we are that container, we imagine that sanctuary, that container having no limit, having no roof. There's endless possibility for good and change to come out of us individually and also collectively, as we remember that we are one. And one way that we demonstrate that endless possibility is through our offerings. And we can give in the baskets that will come around shortly. We can put our consistent giver cards in the basket, scan the QR code, go online, go in the app, so many different ways that we can give. But what we'll do first is affirm the goodness and the change and the beauty and the wholeness in this community by saying our offering blessing together. Please join me. I am so blessed. I am so prosperous. And it is my great pleasure to share of my blessings and to share of my prosperity. And in the giving, the entire world is blessed. Thank you, God. Please join us as we sing our offering song.
So blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful.
Kristen Hope Justice, closing out, giving us our last song, our last featured song of the day. Initially, I thought it was I Listen to My Heart, and I realized it's I Listen with My Heart. I encourage you to listen to this song with your heart.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I wrote this song, and as a sanctuary, part of being that sanctuary for others is just being open and having our hearts open. And sometimes that's just sitting there with another person and just listening. And so this is I Listen with My Heart. I open my heart and I listen with an open mind to the words you are saying. All we need is each other's time. Speak your truth, baby. Speak to me. I am here to listen to you faithfully. I listen with my heart. Tell me, what are you feeling today? No distraction, no need to take action. Let me listen to the sweet words you are saying. Listen with my heart. Yeah. Listen with my heart. Listen with my heart. Listen with my heart. Sometimes all we need's just to be heard. No need to carry all the weight of the world. Let your troubles flow out of your mind and off of your tongue. Breathe out of the breath that you take. Breathe it out of your lungs. I listen with my heart. Tell me, how are you feeling today? No distraction, no need to take action. Let me listen to the sweet words you are saying. I listen with my heart. 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 Listen with my heart. Tell me, how are you feeling today? No distraction, no need to take action. Let me listen to those sweet words you are saying. I listen with my heart. 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 I listen with my Thank you, everybody.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Give it up for Will. Give it up for the band.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Fantastic. You know, I have the opportunity now. I'm going to have a coffee and connection in the room, but I got to leave quickly because I am going to dedicate with all the other ministries in the Cobb County that have built another Habitat for Humanity house. I would like anybody in the room who helped participate in the Habitat for Humanity build to stand up. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You built a sanctuary for one person, and that's love incarnate. So we're going to end as we began. Up on your feet, everybody. How can I serve today, sweet spirit? Ask the question and then go out and live accordingly. Let's kick it in, guys. Put your hands together. Here we go, from the top. How can I serve today, sweet spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, who needs my love? Who needs my love today, sweet spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will. Thanks for being here this morning. Go follow the call, go follow the leading, and be the sanctuary. We love you and bless you. We'll see you next Sunday. Hug a chaplain, let a chaplain know you're grateful for their service.